Man United are in a mess. Hey there everyone, Red Devils Talk. Me your host Session, all things Manchester United. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like, it helps. Thank you for your support. It's been a while, and the last time we spoke, it was before the Spurs game, and we all know we lost 2-0. I wouldn't say it was a bad performance, but we'll speak about that particular game in this video. We will also speak about Greenwood. The club has made a decision. As everyone knows, he is gone, and we'll speak a bit on that. And we'll speak a bit on the transfer news. We do have not a lot of time left in the transfer window to make a lot of signings happen. But we'll speak about that later on in today's video. So stick with me. Let's get into it. So, 2-0. The game didn't look like that, to be honest. In the first half, I feel we played well. I think we had good moments. We played some good football. We had chances to score. We should have gotten a penalty. I don't want to speak about that because I'm just going to get frustrated because the transfer window is already frustrating. The Glazers are already frustrating. So let me just try and flow into this video. You know, when I watched the Spurs game, I told myself that here's an opportunity for us to once again rewrite the wrongs that happened against Wolves. It simply was not to be. And we started the game quite well. I mean, we had good ball possession. We moved quite well when we had to press them. And also in defensive moments, yes, here and there, we gave away a chance, but we defended okay. And we didn't look that threatened. It looked more like we were the team that was going to be in the lead and control the game. I felt that we had control of the game in the first half, and the tactics was spot on. We just lacked quality finishing. Good decision making in the final third was not there. The likes of Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony once again did not do anything, and when they had opportunities, made the wrong choice. And this is the same thing that happened against Wolves. Not to mention what happened in the second half where we just fell off. People were talking about our midfield that was not good enough, but the midfield was not that much exposed as to what it was against Wolves. So, in my opinion, I think we lost because of not being match sharp, not being match fit. Today there is a friendly behind closed doors played against Burnley simply because Ten Hag wants to increase the match fitness. I know in pre-season he said that the team is fit and we're ready to go, but against Wolves and Spurs, I don't think so. We seem to be looking disjointed, dysfunctional. It seems a lot like the players are trying to find where they need to be, and that is causing a huge problem in terms of the way we set up defensively. But going forward, we seem to lack options. It seems as if nobody wants to run off the ball, and when someone is running off the ball, that particular person is not receiving the ball. So there is a lot of work ahead of the new season, and there is a lot of work for us to do. But there's a lot of things off the pitch that, in my opinion, could have and might have hampered the way we started the season. I mean, you know, they say that if the top of a tree is not that good, then the rest of the tree could feel the exact same way. Now, the way the roots of our tree, i.e. the first team, the football inside of the club, it's not that good. We might have ended in third place last season. We might have won a trophy, being the Carabao Cup. But we simply were not playing good football up after the Carabao Cup until the end of the season. We dragged our way through games like we did against Wolves and against Spurs. Potentially, we could have gotten a 1-0 win. We didn't. We ended up losing the game because of certain factors that came into play. In my opinion, you know, we shouldn't be banging on Ten Hag's door and telling him to get out, to leave. You know, we shouldn't be turning our backs on Ten Hag and the players. I think there is still quite a ways to go. We are still quite behind, you know, the likes of City, etc. And we need to take it step by step. Klopp, in my opinion, wasn't successful in his first 2 seasons in terms of this is where he wanted Liverpool to be or where they were. The same with City. The same, you look at the likes of Real Madrid. Continuously they win, but it is on a consistent basis. Now, of course, for us, as I said, we have a long ways to go. But that doesn't mean that we cannot criticize bad performances. We cannot criticize bad habits or bad patterns that cause us to continuously have the same problems on the pitch. The next thing I want to speak about, before I speak about the transfer window, which impacted what I'm going to speak about now about Greenwood, and of course, the way we started the season. The club have come out and they've made official statement that Greenwood will leave the club. They said they will help him in that, and they feel that the evidence that they've gotten, which is not for public domain, is their conclusion that he did not do any of the things that were shown in the evidence that we saw. However, they feel that because of the backlash, because of us, myself personally, that was saying that he should not play for the club again, that is the reason why Richard Arnold U-turned and publicly stated that Greenwood will not play for Manchester United. Now, it hasn't been said whether he's going to be sold or loaned, just that he won't play for Manchester United. Whether he comes back in the future, whether he goes out on loan and they still keep tabs on him, that will be a decision that the club will have to live with. Now, in my opinion, they made the correct decision. I think it would have been very, very bad for the club to accept that Greenwood should play for the club. But Richard Arnold, in his open letter to the fans, said that his plan, let me reiterate that, his plan was to bring Greenwood back. And of course, Ten Hag, from the footballing side, would have had to accept that he's back. I mean, there were no charges that were accepted to the point that he went to trial and was charged with it and he was guilty. The club saw him as innocent. So if Ten Hag was told that he's back, he would have had to live with it. But we as the fans would have known exactly what happened. And we would have had our own opinion and stance and remained it. So, in my opinion, it was the right decision, but the way we went about it is absolutely disgusting. I don't think Richard Arnold could paint himself in any good light. I don't think the club can paint himself in any good light. It is a sad, low point for our club and where we are right now, because the Greenwood situation might be done, there might be a line drawn underneath it, but it will leave a sour taste in the mouth because we will wonder where he's going, what he's going to do, and how he will be received at another club. And this has affected our transfer window because Samuel Lockhurst reports that Ten Hag expected Greenwood to be part of the team by August. But that is not the case, and now he's demanding another forward. Now, in the transfer window, and let me just make a point that I am done speaking about Greenwood. We're not going to be talking about him again on this channel until some other significant news that affects Manchester United about him does come around. So in the transfer news, the transfer window right now, there's about just under a week left, and we just heard the news that Mason Mount will not be available for Forest or for Arsenal next week and will only return after the international break. Now, against Spurs, Mason Mount, according to stats, was the best player on the pitch, was the best midfielder on the pitch. And people don't want to speak about that. They don't just want to slag him off and say that he's a bad player, that he was a wrong signing, and that he's crap and he's washed, etc. It's still too early to come up to a conclusion about Mason Mount and his impact on the team. But in the transfer news, it has been reported that Benjamin Pavard, by Fabrizio Romano, is on his way to Inter and is awaiting a green light from Bayern. And the reason why that is because there's no transfer movement on Maguire. With Maguire not leaving, we basically told Pavard's agents that we will not be going for him because there's no offer for Maguire. And the reason why Maguire didn't leave via Samuel Lockhurst is simply because we did not want to pay more than the 6 million that he wanted as a payoff to go to West Ham. Selfish, but Ten Hag dropped him against Spurs and he will have to learn the lesson the hard way. He shouldn't be part of the squad again this Saturday and should be on his way out of the door. He has hindered and hampered our transfer window. But then again, if you read reports and you follow it quite well, L'Equipe have come out a report in France saying that Jean-Claire Todibo is finalizing and on his way to Manchester United regardless of Maguire not leaving. Now, Whether you want to believe that or not, you can. It is the news. We speak about the news and we talk about it. And if that is the case, then that is good. But then that does indicate that perhaps Maguire is still leaving. I don't think Maguire would have appreciated being dropped and not be part of the squad entirely. So that was a message by Ten Hag. Just like I think the Mason Mount injury is a message to the board, to the club, to the Glazers saying, listen, I need players, I need midfielders. So with Mount injured, Kobbie Mainoo injured, Donny van der Beek is not playing, Scott McTominay is in the squad, but Ten Hag doesn't want to use him because he is for sale. We do need to look at the likes of Sofyan Amrabat, Ryan Gravenberch. These are players that Ten Hag does want to come in to elevate our midfield and also to have better options next to Casemiro, behind Bruno, etc. And these are two players that can make our midfield better and overall complete the structure the way Ten Hag wants to play. Højlund has been reported to soon be back and might make his first official debut, his first official game against Nottingham Forest. And it would be a good run out for him against a team that will sit back, a team that will look to counter. But it would be a good preparation for him for our game against Arsenal, which he will be needed for much more, considering like the likes of Mason Mount won't be available. But hopefully by Arsenal's game, we have the likes of a Sofyan Amrabat, a Ryan Gravenberch, a Jean-Claire Todibo, or, Tapsoba, who's the other option. We need signings. The likes of Maguire, McTominay, Van der Beek, Brandon Williams, Eric Bailly are still at the club and need to leave. Dean Henderson, I didn't even mention him. Crystal Palace are wanting him, but they can't even afford his price. They're looking for a loan option to buy. Guys, I don't understand how our recruitment department or Richard Arnold, the John Murta, whoever deals with the buying and the selling, they are so crap at their job. I cannot for the life understand of me how crap you can be at your job. Because me, myself, sitting here, even I could do a better job in buying and selling players for Manchester United. Surely it cannot be that hard to see the finances, see that it is there, work the budget, and then execute. Simply, we have to be able to be better in the transfer market. And various reports about the takeover has come out saying that Sheikh Hassim is finalizing his takeover. It will be done by October. It's been said that, he's won the race, etc. But it's been the same type of news regurgitated over and over again. And in my opinion, I don't think that there is any movement. So when something really significant happens about the takeover, then we'll speak about it here on Red Devils Talk. But we have things to look forward to. Højlund's debut, potential incomings and outgoings. As I said, Greenwood is gone, so no more speaking about him or having to worry about his off-field antics affecting the club in a negative way. And of course, we had our first loss of the season against Spurs, but there are things to be positive about. We have to improve and can improve. And I'm sure Ten Hag is doing his work behind the scenes because he does want to get the club to where it wants to be and needs to be, competing for trophies consistently every season. We should not write off Ten Hag and his project anytime soon. Rome wasn't built in a day. We cannot look immediately, oh, look at Brighton, De Zerbi is doing well, he needs to come to United. No. We need to let Ten Hag do his work and do what he has done always. And it will come to a success. We will find ourselves in a very good position competing. I believe that. I'm sure of that. So it's still early days and there is quite a lot of the season to get into. So we know we have to support the club regardless. And we criticize when there's bad performances. That is obvious. But we still have to have our standards. And Ten Hag continually reiterates that. But thank you for joining me. That's it for today's video. Please subscribe to the channel, drop a like, hit the notification bell, all that and a bag of chips. Till we speak again, enjoy the day. Bye-bye, Red Devils.